Today we're going to talk about a pretty stunning new development in the aftermath of Fox News' firing of Tucker Carlson, and I interview the president and CEO of Media Matters, Angelo Caruso, about the cause of Tucker's firing, Fox's long-term financial viability, and how to help ensure that Fox doesn't come back from this. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen, and you're watching No Lie. So it looks like Tucker's firing from Fox is having an unintended consequence of striking fear in the hearts of other Fox hosts. According to reporting from Rolling Stone, both Maria Bartiromo and Jeanine Pirro, Judge Jeanine, have told friends that they're concerned they could be fired next. Now, Rolling Stone sources are saying that executives have recently held high-level discussions about Maria Bartiromo's future at Fox, considering she was a key player in propping up Trump's conspiracy theories about the election and Dominion. Fox execs are also reportedly grilling staff about whether they've leaked information about Tucker's firing to the press, which is pushing those staff members to change the names of reporters in their phones so that they're not caught leaking information to the media. And I gotta say, I hope these Fox hosts are enjoying the same culture of fear that they've been thrusting onto their viewers for years. This is like Fox's very own migrant caravan on a daily basis, and it couldn't be happening to more deserving people. But I do want to talk about the implications of Tucker's firing for a moment, because I know there are people who are worried about what Tucker might do next, and could it be even more dangerous? Could he reach even more people? But I think what's become pretty clear is that Tucker needs Fox a hell of a lot more than Fox needs Tucker. And look, yes, Tucker was their biggest star, and his departure resulted in more than 1 million fewer eyeballs on the network right after he left, which is a big deal. But two things here. First off, let's not get it twisted. Fox was not relying on Tucker to survive. There is still a massive benefit in being the biggest conservative news outlet in the country. There's still a benefit to having every TV in the military and retirement homes and doctors' offices and airports tuned into Fox. So yes, there is a backlash, and that'll subside to some degree, but it's not like there's some void of other Fox hosts who are prepared to spew a steady stream of bigotry on a nightly basis. So that one's common sense. But here's the second reason. This was a bit of Tucker's response in the aftermath of his firing.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
Sure was a lot of words, but notice that Tucker, free thinker Tucker, won't be muzzled Tucker, never managed to utter the words Fox or Rupert Murdoch. And that may very well be owed to the fact that he is afraid of them. There's been reporting from Rolling Stone that Fox News executives have compiled an Oppo file of supposed dirt on Tucker Carlson, which includes internal complaints regarding his workplace conduct, disparaging comments that he made about management and colleagues, and allegations that he created a toxic work environment. Is he afraid of that document and everything that's in it getting leaked? I legitimately don't know, but I will say that it certainly is weird that this self-proclaimed champion of free speech never managed to say the word Fox in response to being unceremoniously fired by Fox. All of which is to say, if Tucker knew that he had the upper hand, if he felt like he was prepared to go scorched earth against Fox, he probably would have. The guy has spent God knows how many years attacking anything within eyeshot, and yet suddenly now we're supposed to believe that he can't find his tongue? Look, the guy had a primetime slot on the biggest right-wing network. Some of those fans are loyal to him, of course, but I'll bet a hell of a lot more are there because it was being fed to them. And Fox will undoubtedly find some new, aggrieved white man to take his spot and scare the shit out of old people. And Tucker suddenly won't seem to loom so large, and I think he is well aware of that. And just one more note on Tucker's little video response. First off, he was in his little home studio that he built for Fox Nation. Dude had to tuck himself into whatever corner of that studio he could find that wasn't branded with Fox, so that was pretty sad. But more importantly, it was this line right here that stuck out at me.
The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated.
How unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. And to his credit, he owns up to this to some small degree, saying, trust me as someone who's participated, which is a modest way of fessing up to the fact that this guy has almost unilaterally introduced more hateful garbage and bigotry and faux outrage into the news cycle than anyone else on the planet. This is the guy who introduced the Great Replacement theory into the mainstream, that Democrats are trying to change the demographics of the country to take power politically. He said that immigration makes America dirtier and poorer. He called the COVID vaccine the deadliest mass vaccination event in modern history. And it's not just the dangerous stuff, it's also really, really fucking stupid stuff too.
The green M&M, you will notice, is no longer wearing sexy boots. Now she's wearing sensible sneakers. Leading women do not wear sexy boots. Leading women wear frumpy shoes. The frumpier, the better. That's the rule. The other big change is that the brown M&M has, quote, transitioned from high stilettos to lower block heels. Also less sexy. That's progress. M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and totally androgynous. Until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity. They've won.
So when this newly enlightened Tucker complains about the low level of discourse in this country, I think you should probably take that up with Tucker. And let's be clear, none of what I'm saying here is to defend Fox. None of this is to say that Fox is fine. Like you'll hear in the interview coming up with Angelo Caruso how royally fucked Fox News is right now. But I don't want to miss the opportunity to dance on the professional grave of the guy who did his part to almost unilaterally make this country a more dangerous and a less tolerant place. Fox is weak, for sure, but Tucker will almost assuredly never be as powerful as he was a week ago. And I'm perfectly happy to take some solace in that. Here's a preview of my interview with Angelo Caruso. More broadly, how does this impact Fox's business? Because just in the days following Tucker's firing, viewership numbers for Fox Primetime were down significantly.
Yeah. So it affects their business in a couple ways. The first is that, as you noted, there's going to be a ratings hit. And the ratings hit is that even for a group of people that are not diehard Tucker fans, they still assume that Fox is like a bastion of free speech that doesn't punish people. And so this is an example where there will be retaliation by Fox audience. And unlike in the past, say like when Glenn Beck got fired or even Bill O'Reilly, there are other places for them to go, digitally, podcasts, streaming services. Like they have alternatives and they will go there. So when Fox made this decision, my understanding is that they assumed or made an assessment that their audience would drop by approximately 10% solely by losing Tucker. I think the number is closer to 20 to 30%. So they're going to see that audience dip. That affects their business because if you lose your ratings, your advertiser rates go down. And that's going to be a second thing that affects them, is that they're going to lose advertising revenue because their ratings will decline. And then the other way this is going to affect their business, and this is probably the most significant way, is that part of the strategy that they use when they're doing these contract renegotiations is they actually organize their audience. They say, hey, everybody, this cable company is about to take Fox News away from you. So I need you to call the cable company. You need to tell them to keep Fox. Right now, even if their audience is still watching, they're kind of mad at Fox. And so they're not going to do any favors for them. So that is the most significant thing, because we recently learned how much Fox News was trying to increase prices. And just this month alone, the contracts that they're renewing, it's worth about $1 billion a year extra to Fox News. In terms of the value of the contract, it's about $3.2 billion. And simply, just to put it simply, it's nearly impossible for Fox to be able to accomplish that unless they had their audience fully intact and fully behind them. And right now, they don't have that. So the order of magnitude for Fox on a financial and business front is going to be very significant. And that's before we get into what happens if Tucker Carlson starts attacking them, what happens when other right-wing media start attacking them. So, for example, The Blaze, which is Glenn Beck's network, they're running a promo. And if you use the promo code DUMPFOX, you get $20 off your subscription. And so, you're starting to see a situation where you could conceivably see why others would poach and pick away at Fox. So ultimately, at least out of the gate, putting aside anything else, the best case scenario for Fox is that they will end up losing somewhere between, and again, best case scenario is that their ratings will go down about 10%, 10 to 15%, and they'll lose somewhere between $400 and $600 million of anticipated revenue a year.
To watch the full interview, which, trust me, is full of a ton of information, click the thumbnail right here on the screen or check out the interviews playlist on my YouTube channel. I also have a new Spanish channel, so if you want to help my efforts to reach Spanish speakers, you can hit that subscribe button. And of course, to see more of my regular content, that subscribe button is right here on the screen as well.